Okay, so here we're going to discuss certain aspects of your the questionnaire that you filled out and your health, and suggest ways in which you can improve them in the hopes of improving your health as a whole. So first we'll start with ways to improve your diet. So firstly, snacks. We need to limit the quantity of snacks you eat throughout the day, just because or substitute the ones you are eating. So rather than eating crisps and sweets and chocolatey things, maybe switch to things like celery sticks, apples, oranges, fruits and veg, basically things that are a lot healthier and better for you. You still get that sugary burst, but it's a healthier sugar. You're getting more nutrients in your system. It will just pick you up as a whole. And if you are still craving these chocolatey sweets and stuff, it could almost be a reward system. So if you've eaten well all day, you've eaten healthy stuff, at the end of the day or halfway through the day, you could give yourself a chocolate bar or a bit of chocolate or a few crisps as a reward. So you're motivating yourself to eat much better, and then you're getting that slightly less healthy treat as a reward. So like I said, you can substitute things. You can a handful of peanuts rather than a bag of crisps. Celery sticks, carrot sticks. You could use things like carrot sticks with hummus to make it a bit more exciting. Things like that, healthier snacks. And then with this, you can use a tracker almost. So you write down the date, the time, and the quantity and what you've had as a snack throughout a day, just to then be able to map out, from the start of this, where you're eating bad stuff, unhealthy things, how often you're eating them, and then hopefully you'd eventually start to see how well you're substituting, how well you're divvying out different snacks, how well you're cutting down on snacks overall. So hopefully you'd be able to see that from using a tracker, and it would be a very good motivator for you, because you could see you are doing it, you can do it, and you'd feel better. So that would be the benefit of using one of these. And overall health, it cuts out a huge amount of sugar and fat from your diet. It will help with your heart, it will help with your overall nutrients, your vitamins. It will help your metabolism, your digestive system. You'll feel a lot healthier. So secondly, your fat and energy intake. So maybe change the cooking method and your choice of meat. So rather than eating fried fatty meats, go with things like chicken breast that you cooked in the oven or grilled. You don't need to use oil. You can use, you just season it and you cut out the fatty oil. This will help clean out your arteries and veins, everything. Lower your cholesterol, help with your heart, the fat quantity you're eating, little things like that. Simply swapping the meat for things, take away some red meats, don't eat as much red meat. That will help your heart as well. Don't fry things, avoid frying things as much as you can, because that is a lot of oil and a lot of fat, and this will really help you out. So you can also moderate your complex carbohydrate intake in line with your energy expenditure. So rather than having all these chips and potatoes with dinner and doing little exercise, you could switch to things like rices, pasta, pulses, nuts, avocado, sweet potato over normal potato, much lower fat content, higher nutrients. And the less energy you're using, the less carbs you want to be eating. You want to be eating less carbs than you are expending energy, just to make sure you're losing weight and you're hitting those targets of losing weight. Otherwise you'll be storing energy and glycogen that you're not going to use, and it will just be recycled into fat. We can devise meal plans together and a tracker just to help guide you. You can be motivated. You know exactly what you're going to be eating that night, that day, that morning, whatever. You know what you're going to be eating. It'll motivate you to go, okay, cool, I know what I'm doing. You can track it. You can make sure you're on target with each meal, so it'll be much healthier. You can plan portion sizes better. the overall quantity you'll eat will get better with doing this. Like you said, you enjoy eating out with friends. Rather than going out with them, invite them round, go to theirs, cook together, cook healthier foods together. You know what you're eating, how much fat you're getting. So you can monitor that, and then you'll be able to write it into your tracker still easier. The long-term benefits of this would be that overall you'd be able to really sort out your portions, the content of fat you're eating, the content of saturates, the sugars, all of that kind of thing. You can be monitoring the calorie intakes. This will just help you to stay motivated and on track with your eating, which can then be added up to help you lose the weight. So things like dairy and other things like milk, you can swap for all the nut milks that are out there now, almond milk, cashew milk, just because it's much lower fat, much higher nutrients for you. This will help with, once again, your heart, your arteries and everything. The same cheese and butter, you can use margarine, you can use, with meat again, back to meat, you can use things like corn now, vegetarian, vegan options, just to cut out the cholesterol and the grease and oil. So yeah, back to dairy. Things like cheese and butter, there are healthier forms of cheese out there, depending on what milk they've been made with and how they've been made. You can also cut them out altogether. Butter, especially, you can substitute butter with something like a light mayonnaise or a light sauce in a sandwich if you're making one. Or things like hummus, things like that, just something to add that extra bit of moisture or whatever. And this is once again, and then sauces and dressings, make your own. You can easily make your own with things like olive oils, lemon, herbs, all kinds of things like that. This will, you can monitor the salt content, the fat content, the saturate content. You can monitor what you're eating better by making it yourself and switching up to these healthier alternatives. Make use of things like eggs, the animal byproduct. Make use of things like eggs, very good for you. Filling can be turned into lots of different meals. Overall, cutting out the dairy as much and alternatives. This will really help out your cardiovascular system, clear out your blood vessels, lower cholesterol, really lower your risk of developing diabetes, and probably help with your mental health. You'll feel a lot better, a lot cleaner, and it will really aid in weight loss. So in terms of your back problems, firstly I'd suggest core exercises, so sit-ups, crunches, oblique twists, just to tighten up the core, okay, help to burn off a bit of weight there. So yeah, and this should hopefully pull everything in better, help with your posture, help support the lower back, just to help eventually improve the muscles there. It will make it feel a lot stronger. It will help your posture, which will all help your spine, straighten everything out. You can use back exercises on machines like lateral pull downs. Once again, this will build the muscles in your back to help with posture and help support your frame, and it will really help you be able to cope more everyday life. And eventually you can move on to using free weights, those things like deadlifts. This will further build the muscles in a much larger range than machines, and you can put a lot more weight into it after a while. And once again, this will just really help your back to be able to take more weight. It'll make it much stronger, really help your posture, make you feel a lot healthier, make your back seem a lot healthier. It will really help your spine in straightening it out a lot. It will really help you. So stretches, you can do all sorts of stretches for your back, just to make those muscles more pliable, less tight and constricted. They'll be a lot more elasticated, so there'll be a lot less strain on them whenever you're moving around. And overall, this should eventually help with posture, help with muscular development in your back, and it should eventually reduce the pain you receive from everyday life in your back. Secondly, medical, regular visits to a physio, just so they can keep monitoring the muscles there, checking them, make sure there's no further damage, no severe damage, no underlying damage that you don't know about. And they can provide things like deep tissue massages to help with the healing of the area, to any knotting to help get that out. And then your lifestyle. So with your job, you sit around on a chair a lot most of the day. So make sure you're sitting with your back straight and up against the backrest. You want to be sitting straight. Do not slouch. Don't be slouching down forwards. Don't be leaning over a screen too much. This will put a lot of strain on your back and really make things worse. Weight loss overall, as a whole, in exercise, walking, anything, this will put a lot less strain on your back as well, because you won't be having to your spine won't be having to support as much weight, as much fat, and it'll help with aligning your spine. Your sleeping position, they say to adopt the fetal position, just to help with spine curvature when asleep, and prevent strain on your back as well. And in your working day, every now and then, you could simply, if you've got enough space for it, stretch out on the floor a bit, on fours, push your hips back. You could just be doing light stretches whilst working. Get up and move around every now and then. Don't be sitting around all day. Whenever you get a slight break, try and walk around a bit, move the back around, warm it up a bit, move the muscles, to hopefully, once again, make it less severe, help you out. And then, lastly, your BMI, so your weight and fat content. Firstly, exercises. So weight training is very good because it burns huge amounts of fat whilst building muscle. So heavy weights, you want to build a bit of muscle, but you also want to lose a lot of fat. So you want to be using heavy weights to really get the muscle groups working, burning high amounts of fat. Overall, this will lower your BMI, of course, and swap that fat for muscle. Aerobic exercise, so swimming, running, cycling, helps with metabolism and will help burn through fat a lot quicker, especially if we help with your diet, change your diet a bit. So overall, this should hopefully lower the fat content in your body and start to replace it with more muscle content, muscle tissue. Make you feel a lot healthier, make you look a lot healthier, and really help you out with everyday tasks and activities. And yeah, it will really help your BMI out in a lot healthier digits. Secondly, your lifestyle. So you say you get the bus everywhere. Get off a few stops early and walk up to work, walk up to the shops. If you have to get the bus there, if they're local, simply walk from your house to the shops. With work, if it's within walking distance, I definitely advise walking it whenever you can, just to help with a bit more weight loss, help with your heart. It will be promoting a bit more exercise, which should be very good for you. Help lower the fat content in your BMI. And also sleep for at least 8 hours and to a regular pattern, because this will help your metabolism develop, which means less fats will be stored unnecessarily. You'll be able to digest things better, which should hopefully lower the BMI. After a while, it would really aid in lowering it and better nutrient taking from food. And lastly, your diet. So as we've already worked on quite a big area, just as a generalisation, you want to cut down on fatty foods and snacking, because this is adding unnecessary sugars and fat content and saturates to your diet, which is very unnecessary, and it will increase the fat content in your BMI. You want to lower your carbohydrate intake in line with energy expenditure, like I said before, so you're not taking on more energy than you can get rid of, because once again that creates unnecessary fat content. And you also want to increase the quantity of vegetables and green vegetables, root vegetables, and healthy proteins you eat, so like nuts and pulses, just to make sure you're still feeling full and you're still eating enough, but equally you've got things that are helping your metabolism, your fibre content, your digestive system, to help burn through those fats and cut through fat quantity. So overall, this should really help to lower your BMI, really bring down the fat content, but also help to boost the muscle content like you want. And that is the end of our client review.